All right, let's step into something easy like climate change. So, boom! 1,200 scientists and professionals from around the world, led by the Norwegian Physics Nobel Prize laureate Professor Ivan Giaever, declare there is no climate emergency. So, I don't really know what climate emergency here means, though. There is no climate emergency. And I don't know who these people are. It seems to be saying that there isn't a massive problem, a massive social problem of maybe like the first import that we have to all work collectively to solve. I guess that would be how I would define climate emergency. But anyway, enough of me talking. Let's see what this is and if there's any there. So let's search with Google Lens. Do this. I think I might like to copy the text and just throw the text in there. Oh, already kind of took the whole thing. Well, let's start with this. Biomedia Post declaration. Only a small portion of them are climate scientists. I could go through this physics in 1973 for his work on superconductors. Here's what I'd say as a possible follow up here. To what extent is this good evidence that that there is not a consensus around the harm of climate change? Right. So again, I could have done something from the follow-ups file here. What I'm just trying to do with all of these is really trying to send. Oh, and sometimes we get this. We get this a lot when it doesn't like the sort of web results. Let me say this. Using only Wikipedia sources, to what extent analyze, because a lot of times what's going on here is that it's trying to take this issue, and I think a lot of times when it says there's no response available for the search, it's saying it's just finding junk. So let's steer it towards Wikipedia sources. I don't know. This is just a guess. Maybe this will get it to stop doing this. Again, the theory I'm testing here is whether since part of what's happening is it's refusing to give a result because it can't find a good search result set to base its decision on, steering it towards better sources maybe gets it to cough something up. In this case, I think we do have something. World Climate Declaration is not considered good evidence. There's a lack of consensus that is not considered good evidence that there's a lack of consensus around the harm of climate change. Number of sources on Wikipedia and related fact-checking articles show the following points. So that's interesting, right? It kind of froze up there because it didn't have a good result set, and we kind of nudged it and said, hey, stick to some kind of boring stuff and look at this. And it gave us a response. I don't know if that's a pattern. Again, I just kind of do these things live in front of you, and what happens. But that's an interesting thing. All right, we can pull another follow-up here. So let's go in. We could try this one that we were trying the other day. Is this what people think it is? Let's see. Just see. I mean, again, I'm just, I don't know. I don't have a perfect method here. I'm just sort of exploratory with this. This is known as climate change misinformation. It claims that 1,200 scientists have declared. Scientific consensus is overwhelming. The world is the source of the claim. Review of the signatories found that only a small number are climate scientists, with many having backgrounds in other fields like engineering, medicine, and law. In contrast, in 2019, more than 11,000 scientists from 153 countries signed a declaration of climate emergency. I don't know how many of those were climate scientists, but presumably we could follow that link. The person leading it won his Nobel Prize for work on superconductors, not climate science, known climate change skeptic, who resigned from the APS in protest of his position that the evidence of global warming was incontrovertible, which actually is probably better evidence of the consensus that the American Physical Society put out that statement like a long time ago, that the evidence was incontrovertible, and so forth. So this is a pretty good result for a follow-up. I thought we had one that had like a table. Let's try a table on it. So we can stack these, obviously. So evaluate the evidence for the claim we are not in a climate emergency and provide a table that matches evidence to rebuttals and rates the strength of the evidence. The evidence is not considered strong, right? And so claim 1,200 scientists. Rebuttal, review of the signatories, only a small fraction are climate scientists. Declaration was led by a Nobel laureate. Was a Nobel laureate awarded for work on semiconductors. Climate models are unreliable. This is again the claim. Climate change is not a problem. Overwhelming scientific consensus. Major international bodies have confirmed, right? All in all, I mean, nothing that surprises, I think, any of us there, but some specific information too about this specific evidence.